Calling this regular meeting to order for Monday, November the 8th, 2021 at 4:30 p.m. As we call for the invocation and the pledge of allegiance, I'm going to ask Mr. Perez to lead us in that agenda.
Good afternoon. If I can have everyone please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Dear Lord, we ask for your presence as we come together to make decisions for our community. We especially remember our veterans. We pray that you will bless them for their unselfish service to preserve our freedom, our safety, and our country's heritage for all of us. We respect them, we thank them, we honor them, and we're proud of them. We pray that you watch over our veterans and bless them with peace and happiness. In your name we pray. Amen. Amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I will call for presentation, item number 1. Mr. Padilla, you have the floor and you have the podium also, and I would like to ask your board that you have present.
Yes.
To come forward to the podium, please, and so the public can recognize them and you can recognize them here at the audience level also.
Yes. First of all, Chair, thank you for the opportunity, and Commissioners, Mayor and Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to come before you. We bring you news of what our plans are for the future, and obviously none of the plans that we put in place are really not our ideas or the ideas of the board, ideas of staff, and everything to progress the housing authority. Today with us, we have our chairman, Mr. Joe Lewis Sanchez, our commissioners, Ricardo Gomez Jr., and also Mr. Jesse Cantu. I believe one of our other commissioners, Ms. Deborah Alvarez is on her way, and Ms. Diana Seguin is out of town. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity. If I could permit, let me go ahead and Mayor, as what's being delivered to you is really just a summary of what I plan to really talk to you about. As you are very well aware, the Housing Authority has been making efforts to beautify, change, and really change both the image of the developments that we have and also assuring ourselves that what we have before you, developments we offer our community, are safe and decent and serve the purpose of what they were intended to do, which really is a safe haven for families who are low income, who do not have a place or another place to live. So, and for many, many years, this has been true, but unfortunately, like any development, and in this particular case, we're talking about an aqua housing development, started its assisting families back in 1962. So you're looking at a development that's 59 years old. And as such, a development that age reaches a point in time where it no longer becomes feasible to keep operating them. The investment of federal funds, the investment of labor and everything else to keep them operating has become so inefficient that we've gotten to the point that really to progress the housing authority and to provide the community what it really truly deserves, we're now at a point of developing a plan that will be submitted to HUD for getting permission or approval to dispose of the development. What does that constitute? It means providing them with the background of the information that's on the development, everything from its age. Ms. Deborah has joined us. And what we'll be providing HUD is really an analysis of the physical conditions assessment of the development and how it has gotten to the point that it no longer serves its purpose. And what else comes with that is obviously a pursuit to try to see what we can do to replace it. So in combination with the application to HUD for approval, that really takes about 6 to 8, in some cases up to 12 months to get approved. We're going to, at the same time, follow a track of submitting an application to Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for what's called low-income housing tax credits. The state gets an allocation that comes through the Internal Revenue. It's under Section 42 of the Internal Revenue Code, in which every state in the United States gets an allotment of tax credits that it can then distribute based on whatever action plan the state might have. The action plan is signed generally in December by the governor, We already have pretty much a detail of what's in the action plan. Really didn't deviate too much from last year. So what we're doing is we're preparing currently an application to seek funding through this tax credit program. The benefit to what we're doing and what assists us in assuring that we may get an allocation is that the state segregates a certain portion of those tax credits for displaced, or in this case, demolished developments. It has a set aside that's very specific to be able to replace affordable housing that may be disposed of or demolished simply because of its age, which falls right within the criteria of what we're intending to do. So based on the application and what it permits to award this year, there's a limitation of $2 million, but this is a $2 million award times 10. So it has an actual award of 20 million. What we're anticipating to do is go after the 20 million, come back in with a design of a new development. In the documentation I've provided you, I've given you some samples of consideration. Please know, this is very, very early in the stages, but part of the process is informing the community. We had a meeting with our residents that live there this past week. They were provided notice of our intent. We had 3 one-on-one or 3 open meetings with the families that live in Nanacua, informed them about what our plans are, and informed them of the timeline that really follows in an application process. We are very early in the stage of what could potentially occur. We will prepare a pre-application that will be submitted in the first week of January to Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. Simultaneously, we're preparing an application to HUD that will be submitted in March for the disposition. They go hand in hand. Simply put is, if we don't receive the funding from the state, we will hold off on the disposition because we're not going to demolish or dispose of until we have the funds and the resources to be able to replace what we will be demolishing. We feel very confident that the application process, based on the criteria that is currently in what's called the QAP, which is the Qualified Action Plan by the state of Texas, we feel very confident that the application would score very high at a point of award. Now, why are we really here? Because next month, we will be coming back to you for a resolution. One of the components and one of the criteria to getting an award through the state is showing that the location in where we're going to build is a concentrated area or a concentrated effort by the city to redevelop, revitalize, and change the characteristics. We've been working very closely with your senior staff, your city staff. They've been extremely helpful. We've had 3 or 4 Zoom meetings, some one-on-ones, and we've been identifying the amount of investment that the city has really injected into this region. You currently have a revitalization plan for downtown. We will be asking you at next month's meeting through a resolution to expand that redevelopment zone from Conway to Bryan and from the expressway to 495. We have selected that area because obviously our development sits within that area, and moreover, we've been able to identify based through the financial documents the city has provided us that you've spent over $30 million in rehab in different forms in this zone area that we're identifying. That will clearly show the state of Texas that the revitalization zone or the activity that you've been providing to this area has been long. It's been for the past 10 years. You've been striving to better that area, which falls within the criteria. Why is that important? Because it earns us 7 points. And in a competitive application, every point is a meaningful point. And when you're able to get 7 points off of one criteria alone, that really does put our application at what we feel would be at the highest level and likely for award. Our investment in total is about $26 million. That is what we'll take to be able to dispose of, demolish, rebuild, including infrastructure repairs, infrastructure enhancements, flood control, all of the activities that go associated with creating a new vibrant development are part of that cost. We've provided you some pictures of some development activities that I've been involved with over the last number of years. These are the types of developments that we're looking at. Now, it hasn't been identified and selected yet, but this is the types of developments that we're trying to bring. A new, modern look, multi-story, that really shows the community that the investment from both the Housing Authority and the city is true to helping those in need. Now, we, as I mentioned, have met with the families. We've informed them of the relocation and what processes will follow if everything goes as one would like. If we are awarded the credits, if the federal government says and approves the disposition, which is very likely, because just alone, the infrastructure alone and the problems we're having is more than enough to excuse the disposition and demolition. But what we've had is we had meetings with them to assure the public that lives there now. We have 72 residents living in the 80-unit complex. Some of the units are no longer occupied because they're inhabitable. They've gotten to the point that we really can't release them. So the issue is we've got 72 families. We met with them. We did explain to them that this is the commencement of a long process. If everything goes well, we are looking at relocation January and February of 2023, which is about 13 to 14 months from now. So no one needs to move out. It's been told to them. It's been given to them in writing. It's just a process of letting them know. Obviously, they had some concerns, what happens to us? Can we relocate back once the development is constructed? Obviously, everything is dependent upon the family. We normally, when we do a relocation, we must submit to HUD a relocation plan. That plan will detail the assistances that are required by federal law for families that are displaced by government action. We are the government removing them from that location, so they'll be eligible for funding through what's called the Uniform Relocation Act. Every family member will get subsidies to relocate their belongings, subsidies to get their new utilities wherever they may move to, and all kinds of different subsidies. If the rent from where they moved actually goes up, we can assist them for 3 years thereafter. Keep in mind, we will also be vouchering and giving vouchers to many of these families that are in public housing so they can continue. So part of the process is making sure that we do not disturb the lives of those that are there in any drastic method. Obviously, relocating is a drastic issue, but living in a condition or a development that is as such, the way it is today, is unhealthy, and we know that we cannot keep doing this for a number of years. So again, Mayor, I'm here to answer any questions. Commissioners, my staff, our commissioners are 100% behind this, and our objective is really to bring something nice to the community of Mission and to the families in need.
I just, the question when you said 2 million times 10.
The
10 is the magic number or
10, yeah, it's based on the Internal Revenue Law.
Okay.
The allocation is 2 million, and whoever you sell the credit to is able to use the credit for 10 years.
Okay.
So you get the value of the credit times 10. So if you're going after 2 million, in reality, that's 20 million that you'll be getting from the investor. 20 million will not cover the construction of the entire project. We know that based in today's market, the changes of COVID, the cost of materials, and all of those things we've already taken into consideration. Cost of everything has gone up 10, 15% from what it used to be. So developments such as this that may have been 19 or 20 or 21 million is going to be now closer to 26 because we've got to take into consideration the demolition, the disposition of everything that is currently there. So the cost does go up. So at this point in time, we're guesstimating that the cost is going to be about 26 million. We are looking at building a 120 to 140 unit complex on site. And again, we've provided you some pictures of the type of developments that we're looking at. So what is crucial is next month's resolution, and that's the reason we wanted to come to you in advance, so that you would be aware of what the resolution would entail.
Keep in mind that we only have one meeting.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So make
yes.
sure that you don't skip it.
No, your staff has been very, very good at helping us and making sure they've given us the deadline for the resolution language to assure that it makes your meeting. And we've got a team of people working on it. And again, we want to thank your staff because they've been extremely helpful. Ms. Joanne Longoria from the CDBG department has been constantly, we've communicated back and forth. Again, this is a benefit to families in the community, a benefit to low-income families. It makes more affordable units available in your community. And more importantly, we really do need to rid ourselves of a site that really has outlived itself. It's operating for 59 years at this point in time. It's not going to be able to give us much more than a couple of years before we're going to have 50% of the units actually dormant because they're just at the point that they're not repairable. We're having infrastructure problems. We're having, underground line issues. The buildings have just really, again, they've exhausted their life. The efforts have been made to keep them going, but at one point in time, it's frugal. It's frugal to continue to go the same way we're going now.
I'll open it for the council in case the council has any questions to Mr. Padilla and the board.
I don't have any questions, Mayor. I look forward to your project.
Thank you.
Yes, any questions? No. I just want to thank you and thank your, the board, and thank your staff also.
Yes.
Because, this is a great adventure and endeavor that really was needed.
Yes,
was
very
needed.
necessary.
Yes, thank you for taking that step.
Thank you.
That step, I know it's a hard step to take, but it's a doable step, and bringing affordable housing in a better standard is always aligned with the council and the mayor.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Calling for item number 2, Ms. Enrique, you have the podium and you have the floor, ma'am.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. So I have shared with you all our latest tourism piece. This is what we call the Winter Texan promotional postcard. So on the back, we have them. Our dates are ready for them to mark their calendars, starting with the Fall Market Day, leading on to the Community Wellness and Health Fair, then the Winter Texan Fiesta, and then closing the year with the Spring Market Day. And on the back, we incorporated our things to do for them too. So we went ahead and highlighted a couple of the assets for tourism. And of course, we always wanted to share on social media that they're here. So this is our Winter Texan postcard. So we'll be improving these as we go. And with you, you have a flyer for the fall market that we have. It's happening this Friday from 3:30 to 7. We do have booths available for non-members. The booth is $10, and then for members of the chamber, it is complimentary. Pets are welcome, so we do invite anybody to come on by and bring their little furry friends. So we're going to have some live music and some local vendors. And for the Health and Wellness Fair dated for December 9th and 10th, we are now taking appointments for anybody getting blood work. And that is available Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 12 to actually book their appointment, but they can book at any time after that as well. But we want to make sure that they're on the list. They already know what time they're coming. So this way, when they come, they have a really good visit and quick. And of course, they cannot eat any food or drinks before then. Que vengan de ayunas. And booths are available for the Health and Wellness Fair as well. If any of our health businesses or wellness businesses want to promote and help us carry out a good fair, they're welcome to join us. I am so happy to pronounce that our merit grant, we already recruited and have our first cohort. So we have a total of 15 businesses signed up. So we're really excited. Next week, they'll be attending their seminars and then going on to be paired up with coaches and interns. So we're really excited about that. So the next cohort is in the spring. So any other businesses who are still interested, we're already recruiting as well. And we have 2 ribbon cuttings happening next week. One on Monday, Las Fuentes Medical Clinic, and then on Tuesday, the Queen Bee Social Event Center. And that's all we have for this evening.
Any questions toward the chamber?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for a great job, Ms. Enriquez. Presentation number 3, departmental reports. Council, you have them in your packet. Is there any questions, any direction that we need to give Mr. Perez and any of the department heads at this time?
I'm going to approve the reports as presented.
We have a motion to approve the departmental report. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any last minute by any of the council members? Any department report you want pulled out? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and item number 3 for presentations is approved. 5-0, and I'm calling for item number 4, citizens participation. And Ms. Carrillo, is there anybody that signed up?
Yes, Mayor, I have several, and if I may,
Let's start with number 1.
Well, for persons addressing the council, Mayor. Any person who willfully utters loud, threatening, or abusive language or engages in any disorderly conduct which would impede, disrupt, or disturb the orderly conduct of any meeting, hearing, or other proceeding shall be called to order by the presiding officer. And if such conduct continues, may at the discretion of the council be ordered barred from further audience before the council during that meeting. No one shall in their utterance or actions be disrespectful to anyone else, public speaker, city staff, or city council. Everyone shall act with polite decorum, and the comments, Mayor, are for 2 minutes.
Yes, thank you.
And the first one that we have that is on Zoom is Mr. Jesus Mendoza.
Mr. Mendoza, let's stand by till the media gives us the connection, and we'll be able to allow you to give your name and address for the record, and you're allowed 2 minutes, sir. Are we okay?
Thank you.
We're okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jesus Mendoza, and my phone number is 583-712-2202 East 28th Street. The invitation is for the city officials to consider passing an ordinance to prevent the use of directed radiation surveillance on children, pregnant women, and the disabled, and to criminalize possession and use of an electronic weapon. I have been homebound for more than 10 years with a life-threatening electrosensitivity, which was caused by a retaliatory radiation surveillance after evidence proved in a federal court in Michigan that my EHS was caused by a retaliatory radiation surveillance. Michigan became the first to criminalize with up to life with a parole a radiation aggression. The same year, Massachusetts criminalized possession of an electronic weapon. My EHS has been recognized by federal and state agencies and by courts as a physical medical condition and as a disability. Despite the federal government has admitted that hate groups could be using X and gamma rays for surveillance of homes with children and pregnant women, despite of admitting that more than 200 Americans have been victims of radiation attacks, and despite the thousands of people complaining of the radiation aggressions, there is no government agency in charge of protecting the people from these crimes. The city of Richmond, California passed a resolution attempting to protect these people from satellite-directed radiation aggressions. People have requested Los Angeles to pass an ordinance to that effect. During a phone call, an FCC agent told me that they caught people with homemade electronic weapons trying to microwave their neighbors on their sleep. Because there's nothing to prevent this aggression, an ordinance can be the beginning to prevent those crimes on innocent, defenseless, and unsuspecting victims, as detailed on the emergency request to Congress to protect our children, posted on the case law section of J. Mendoza at wirelesswatchblog.org, wirelesswatchblog.org. Thank you very much for listening. Respectfully, thank you again.
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. Person number 2.
Yes, Mayor. We've got Rosie Olivares.
Rosie, you're recognized by the chair. You can come to the podium and you give your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes.
Animal control.
You want to get your group in here, so we won't start the clock till you start speaking, okay?
Good afternoon, Mayor Ocaña and council members. My name is Rosalindo Olivares, and I'm a proud board member of RGV PAWS Huevitas del Valle. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to address the city board meeting. I, along with my group, have gathered together Board Secretary of Yaqui Animal Rescue, Michelle Smith, Sergio Munoz's Chief of Staff, Laura Del Mariano, Sergio Munoz's, District Office Manager, Cynthia Pacheco, U.S. Congressman Vicente Gonzalez's constituent field representative, Mr. Javier Bustos, board member of Mission Possible and third grade teacher Yvonne T. Perez, along with many community members who are here today to give the City of Mission's animal control employees a well-deserved thank you for all of the services they provide in protecting our animals and community. We recognize and appreciate their efforts in what they do and would like to present some items to show how much we value them. I would like to start off with a special prayer written for our ACOs and recited by our local board or by our board member, Joanne Ortiz.
Dear Lord, may you bless and keep all those on the lines of animal protection and control. May they surrender their all to you as you strengthen and guide them to do your work for your precious creatures. Give them the strength needed to endure their struggles Give them the peace needed to carry on their mission. Grant them rest at the end of each hardworking day. You recognize all their efforts, Lord. May you cover them and protect them as they go on forward in their role as stewards of your wonderful creations. Amen.
We have thank you cards crafted by Ms. Bettis's third grade classroom, posters and banners created by Mims Elementary, citizens of Mustangville, goodie bags filled with snacks and treats, coupons from local businesses, and community members who wanted just to show their appreciation by attending today's meetings. We understand how hard it is to do the job in keeping us safe and want you to know that we are all in this together as we strive to advocate, educate, and protect our animals and community. On behalf of RGV Paws Huertas del Valle and all of those mentioned, we would like to thank you once again for being such wonderful animal control officers.
Well, I will recognize you and we'll give you 2 minutes since you're.
No, I don't want to make that much. I won't make it into a lesson. I'm here with the Mission Possible Advisory Board we are here dedicated to work with the rescuers who here themselves were willing to honor our officers. And we're very proud that we're doing that. So we want to be advocates with them as our board. And so I'm here just to say that appreciation along with our rescuers, we also show our appreciation to them. And I want to recognize that these are the ladies that were up with Senate Bill 5 fighting for our animals. And I just wanted to also give them a little recognition also. That is all. Thank you.
Is it possible, since you all took the time to recognize our staff, if we can ask the staff and the team that came in, so we can take a picture for the record and put it into our history books?
Closer to yes. Thank you for the
Thank you.
Citizen participation number 3, Ms. Carrillo.
No, Mayor, that's everyone that signed up.
That's everybody that signed up with you. I will ask for electronics. Do we have anybody electronically that has signed up for the citizens participation? We have none. This time I will close presentation number 4. And I'm going to use my discretionary powers as the chairman of this council. And I'm going to call for approval of item approval or disapproval of item number 39 on your agenda. So let's turn to page 39. And I'm going to ask Chief Dominguez to come before the podium and present item number 39. And at the same time, Chief, now that you're here, we'll take care of item number 40 also.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Item number 39 is approval of an ordinance providing for a no parking and no standing zone at the 1100 and 1200 block of South Schubach Road between the hours of 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. on the days that IDEA schools are in session. Residents on the west side of South Shubak Road have complained about the traffic line for student drop-off and pickup at the Ideas South Campus and the blocking of their driveways by said traffic. On November 3rd, the Traffic Safety Committee met and reviewed the request and approved the no parking and no standing zone. Staff and city manager recommend approval of an ordinance.
For the record, if it passes, it'll be ordinance 5102.
Thanks, sir.
It also shows 5 o'clock on the agenda.
Yes, sir. That was a typo. That's why I said 6 o'clock to make sure for the record. Unfortunately, we've been out there several times and it goes beyond 5 o'clock. So I wanted to put 6 o'clock just to make sure that it goes.
And the Traffic and Safety Committee approved to 6 p.m., right?
Yes, they did.
Thank you.
Mayor, I move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for final discussion. Any questions? Go ahead, Ms.
I have
Garcia.
a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So Chief, what's the resolution if they're not standing there?
Well,
Waiting.
there's two particular homes that the most complaints come from. One is it's both family members. There's an elderly female that lives there that apparently is taken to the hospital quite often. And then the second home is a family that has a trucking business. And apparently the problem stems more in the afternoon than in the morning, but obviously both are still a concern. Now, obviously I think that this will help the situation. Obviously, I think one of the things is we're talking to the school district, to the school to try and remedy something like we have with other schools to create a longer driveway inside the campus itself to be able to alleviate the traffic on the roadway itself. As we all know, that's a 2-lane traffic roadway. It's very small. There was, at one time, there's been mentioned to move the traffic to the other side. In other words, for the traffic to come in northbound into the front of the school campus. My concern that it will we've already measured the distance. We've already kind of counted the cars. It would go towards the Butterfly Center. That's a concern. A concern as well is a number of police pursuits from U.S. Border Patrol, Department of Public Safety, and our agency as well in that area because of illegal human trafficking and narcotics trafficking. And of course, having to cross military highway. That's my concern in that particular area. So this will help alleviate some of the concerns, especially of these two very vocal residents in that area. But at the same time, I think, it's important for us to have some dialogue with the school to make sure that hopefully they can do something to help alleviate the problem, unfortunately, that's being created by the amount of traffic on that roadway. That traffic goes from the middle of that school all the way back to Tierra Dora subdivision, which is about 1 mile to 1.5 miles of traffic that lines up every day.
I'm just going to ask if you would please communicate with the school and
Yes, ma'am.
come up with a resolution that's good for both the residents and the school.
Yes, ma'am. I sure will.
And obviously, we can recommend busing better than parents picking them up, but that's the parent.
Yes, this is one of many schools, unfortunately. We just dealt with John and Sherry last week with our superintendent from Sherryland. So we're working on a remedy for that situation on FM 495. So we're trying to do what we can to, and working with the different school districts just to make sure we take care of these problems.
Okay, any other questions by any of the council members? In this, I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 5102 is approved 5-0, Chief, and I'm calling for item number 40. You have the floor, Chief.
Item number 40 is approval and ordinance providing for a 4-way stop intersection at Elm and Pecan Streets. The Mission Plan received a request for a 4-way stop intersection on Elm and Pecan with regard to speeders in the area. On November 3rd, the Traffic Safety Committee met and reviewed the request and voted not to approve the 4-way stop intersection. The Traffic Safety Committee recommended the placing of rumble strips on the roadway to slow down traffic instead of the four-way stop intersection. Staff and city manager recommend denial.
Looking for guidance from the council?
Do you recommend denial?
Yes, on that particular area, obviously, we haven't tried anything, and the request was made for a four-way stop intersection. The majority of the issue really is in the mornings and in the afternoons. Now, we go back to a school, in this case, Bryan Elementary, and the number of cars that obviously go to the school. Another issue we're having is the fact that they actually park on the side of the road and sometimes walk their children across the street. Obviously, we want them to get in the line of traffic, which again stems all the way up to Business 83, which is another concern, another problem. But on those roadways, especially on Oak and Elm, that's the issue we've been having with the amount of traffic, again, both in the mornings and in the afternoons. And of course, the problem more than anything is the speeders. Obviously, I think that by placing the rumble strips and by doing some more enforcement with our traffic unit in that area, hopefully we can alleviate those concerns, especially during those critical hours when the kids are being let out of school.
Mayor, I move to approve the recommendation of staff and city manager.
And deny the four-way stop?
Yes.
Okay, now we have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this will open up for discussion. Any final discussion by any of the council member? I'm gonna call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 40 is denied, chief, as requested by staff and city manager. So
Thank you, sir.
let whoever recommended the four-way stop.
Yes, and
Let them know that is
we will, sir, and obviously, I'm going to work with our engineer for the rumble strips, and we'll do more enforcement in that area.
okay.
Yes, sir. And thank you for.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I'll go back to the public hearings now, and planning and zoning, and I'm gonna call for item number 5. Item number 5, Mr. Luna, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item number 5 is a rezoning for Lot 38 and the south 411.4 feet of Lot 39 Melba Carter subdivision unrecorded. This is from R1 Single Family Residential to C3 General Business. The applicant is Efrain Salinas. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The site is located approximately 700 feet east of Conway Boulevard along the south side of Melba Carter. Surrounding zones include to the north, general business and single-family residential, to the east, single-family residential, to the west, general business, and to the south, light industrial. Existing land uses include residential to the north and east, to the west is commercial, and to the south is vacant. The site is currently vacant, and all it has is a concrete pad. The future land use map shows this area as industrial. Although the future land use map shows this area as industrial, the area currently has a mixture of uses ranging from industrial, commercial, residential homes. The reality is that we've seen a growth of residential homes in the Melba Carter subdivision. The city has invested in various improvements over the past several years. This improvement includes streetlight, sidewalks, and several CDBG homes. It is also noted that the recent for C3 was denied in 2019, making it clear the council would like to keep it area as residential. The applicant did get a petition in favor of the request with 21% in favor. However, during the P&Z meeting, there was residents from the neighborhood that were in opposition.
And what percent was that?
We didn't get a percentage, but there was a substantial amount of people that I
Okay.
believe they're here today. We do know that if the council is inclined to approve this item, they would need a 4/5 vote. This is a public hearing. This item is not before you.
Thank you. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning, please say, if you're in the audience, approach the podium at this time. Give me your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes. Go ahead, sir. Identify yourself.
Good evening. My name is Efrain Salinas Jr. I'm the owner of the property. I would like to hand out some.
Go ahead.
Thank you for giving me the time. So I am a small transportation company that I'm seeking to rezone this property to park my trucks there when they're home. And I believe it's a very ideal location due to the fact that there's other businesses already in stature that already do that, and as well as the facilities where we pick up and deliver to are within the block radius. And as you can see in the pamphlets, we want to improve the undeveloped land to something where it can address a lot of the concerns of the residents. I went and met with most of them there, and a lot of the concerns were that there was a lot of cars parked on the side of the street, and it was obstructing traffic for people. And one of the reasons that I think it's not a concern for us is because we have a sizable amount of property where we can store them inside and not park them out to where it would obstruct anyone. And another concern that was brought up was about the buses and pedestrians. Their concerns were of us possibly bringing hazard to them. So we've come up with a plan where we want to put up signs to get our guys to exit and enter via Conway, which is the side of the commercial side rather than the residential, to not obstruct. Another concern that maybe could arise as well is noises. And so I want to, as you can see in the flyers, I want to add a buffer so that I can reduce a lot of the noises. And usually when there's noises, it's either they're getting worked on or they're about to leave. So if they're getting worked on, there's a mechanic shop that I would like to build, and it would reduce as well an additional amount of noise. And as far as the bus routes, we generally don't operate so early in the morning, and usually by noontime they start heading out. And the goal is for us to not be home, because if they're home, that means they're not working and they're not producing the money. And so, you know, we don't necessarily want to be there as often as we can. We just needed to store our trucks because it's very conveniently located to where we do a lot of the business. And, you know, with this pandemic going on, we've been able to provide a lot of distribution to a lot of local retail and wholesale facilities that require of our need.
Your 2 minutes are up, but I'll give you 15 more seconds and if you, so you can put closer to your comments.
So in closure, I've met with a lot of the residents that had a dispute about it, and I gave them my phone number, and I told them that there's any concern that they have, they may reach out to me, and I'm willing to do above and beyond what they need. I believe that we can counter any argument they have and bring a solution and bring peace among the neighbors.
Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning, please approach the podium at this time if you're at the audience. Yes, you please identify yourself, name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes, ma'am.
Buenas tardes. My name is Noemi Martinez. I live on 302 Melvacaro Street, which is right next to his property. Okay. Since he started building, he left a slab on his property. But because his property is right next to mine, every time it rains, first of all, that area where we live is a flooding zone. With the slab he left there, which he built without permissions, the rainwater goes to my property. Now my property in the middle, it has a little, I don't know how to say it in English, but like un arroyito, que every time it rains, now it goes to my property. So that is kind of damaging my property because we have a ditch at the end of our properties. So now him building that, him having those trucks, there's gonna be more rain to my property. Now another thing, I don't know if you guys have been there. The city of Mission built a sidewalk several years ago, which my son is one of them that uses it all the time. He built a little ramp with the city sidewalk, which us taxpayers are paying for that without permission either. Now, what is the guarantee that we're not gonna have no more trouble like with the other people that we have at the beginning of the colonia? Like with Mr. Carbona, buses have to slow down like super slow in the afternoons because they have traffic or cars parked both sides of the street. So buses have a hard time going by. And that's like every afternoon. Now in the morning, yes, I understand because buses go super early for the kids, but in the afternoon, that is one of the things. Now, there's a lot of kids with the residences being built in the Colonia, there's a lot of families walking in the afternoon. Sometimes you see them going to the store at any time. Kids especially, on bikes, and playing around. With his trucks, it's more dangerous now.
2 minutes, ma'am.
2 minutes.
So
ma'am.
those are
I'll
my
give you
reasons.
15 seconds to.
Those are
put
my
a final
reasons,
thought.
because I live right next to him, and my son loves to play outside. With those big trucks, that's a risk right there, not just for my son, but for any kid that uses those sidewalks in anywhere there. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning, please approach the podium at this time. Give your name and address, and you have 3 minutes, correction, 2 minutes. Stand corrected.
Afternoon, Council.
Yes.
Hector Morin,
Abelardo Morin,
1007 Park Lane, here in Mission, Texas.
and 2205 North Street in Mission, Texas, too.
We-
And we also own 301 and 211 Nova Carter, which is the
209.
north side of it. where
We
he's-
have the 3 acres across the street. We run business off of there, so for us, it's an improvement. We have no objection.
We've never had problem with rain.
It's a process that has to be done. I mean, he has to start somewhere, so. I'm pretty sure he can work on drainage system somehow. If it's somewhere where it's gonna be commercial, he's gonna have to lay some type of pavement or caliche or something, so drainage is not an issue. Like I said, we work out of there, so.
We have little kids too that live right there, and we've never had a problem with traffic or anything. There's a lot of law enforcement all the time around that area as well.
Like I said, we got no objection.
We're
so
in favor.
Yeah, we're with him on, I believe it's an improvement on what's out there.
For the people, for the city, for.
Thank you.
So what's their number of their property? Where's their property located? So which one is it? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Let me finish the public hearing. Let's finish the public hearing before we. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against the rezoning, please state your name and address for the record.
Hi.
You know,
Hi, my name's Irene Garza. I'm against it. I live on 308 Melba Carter Street. So I understand there's business in the beginning of towards Conway, but let me remind the hearing, those business have been there for years. The gentleman that just came up, the last 2 gentlemen, they say they have a business. My question, did they have permits? Because the road they use, and they don't have big trailers or anything like that, but those roads is not paved. They always leave, when it's raining, they always leave mud. Another question, not a question, but the safety, yes, that's mainly our concerns. I've been there for 40-some years. Most of the people have been there for many, many years. It's a very established place. As I grew up, we really never, this is the point. We've never really had children go trick-or-treating to our house. But these past few years, especially this past year, we actually set up a table. The neighbor set up a Halloween haunted house and stuff. So we were out there giving out candies. We had quite a bit. Never in my years that I have been there, but for the past 2 or 3 years, we've had a lot of kids. And when Mr. Acevedo when he used to be work here before with the planning and zoning, he had recommended not to rezone, but it was because they were trying to establish car slot or something like that. And from that point, they had not wanted to do it because there was more residents. From that year to now, we have at least 3 more new residents that have moved in. So my question, if you're gonna approve it, when the person from planning and zoning before kind of emphasized there was more residents, we even have more now and more kids. I mean, back then we didn't have that many, but now we do. We had at least 50, 60 people go in, and they're people from the neighborhood. You know, safety, there's only 2 outlets, whether you go east and west. You can go west, right, and you can get Conway. But if we're gonna exit east, we have to turn on Mayberry going south and then turn back on Trinity. And that is a commercial behind, right, light industrial. So it's
2 minutes, Mayor.
it's commercial for trailers.
But I'll give you 15
Just one more thing,
seconds to-
okay.
to close.
The street is, from the meeting last time, they had said they were gonna keep it all residential. But my thing also, the street is paved. It's not concrete. It's not made for trailer. It's not made for those heavy. It's not to withstand that big of capacity trailers. Well, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning, please approach the podium if you're here in the audience, and identify yourself, name and address, and you have 2 minutes. Anybody from the audience in favor or against this rezoning? It is a public hearing. Ma'am? It's their choice. This is a public hearing. They can come to the podium, but it's their choice. We're not gonna force anybody to come to the podium unless you voluntarily want to provide us feedback. Name and address for the record, and you have 2
My name
minutes.
is Nacedalia Flores, and I'm at 306 Melba Carter. My concern is I go to work at 5 o'clock in the morning. Every morning, my husband has to get up and check because there's always dogs barking. My concern is they're gonna have all these big trucks. And we're like, not that far from the border, but we have seen a lot of illegals crossing through our lots. So my concern is, what if some of these illegals hide there behind those, RVs? And the lots are like super long, they're an acre and it's super dark. So that's my concern, that for my safety, because, I go out at 4:30 in the morning to go to work. So, so that's kind of scary because the dogs are always barking. You don't know who's there, and the officers, they do drive by there, but not as much as I think they need to. So, it's unsafe for me, I think. So that's my concern, that I'm afraid that with all this, those big trucks, they can be hiding in there or, just find a place to hide. Don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning? If you're in the audience, please approach the podium at this time. I do not see anybody approaching the podium at this time, so I'm going to ask and move over to electronic. Is there anybody on Zoom or?
Yes, Mayor, we have a young lady by the name of Gloria.
Gloria, ma'am, identify yourself, please, name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes, ma'am.
My name is Gloria Bocanegra. I live at 305 Melba Carter Street, and I'm against it. Like the other lady said, there's a lot of traffic in the morning and in the afternoon. We have to slow down because there's a lot of traffic. Plus the bus stop, it's like on the next street, on the next house next to it. How are the kids gonna go to the bus stop if there's a business next to it? I think that's unsafe for the kids, especially in the morning when right now it's gonna be dark and they're not gonna be able to see the kids when they're standing there waiting for the bus. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Anybody else on electronics? And last call for any public hearing rezoning in the audience. If there's anybody in the audience that would wish to provide feedback directly to the council, you can do it at this time. Just approach the podium. I don't see anybody approaching the podium at this time, so I'm going to close this public hearing and ask for guidance from the city council.
Mayor, I'd like to, in a motion, go with what planning and zoning and staff has said of denial.
Okay.
With this, and we had already talked about this about 2-3 years ago, that we were gonna keep that area residential, so I just don't understand why it's even on the agenda.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the denial request from the planning and zoning and staff. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. In this, I open it for discussion from any other council members. Anybody wants to?
Can I see that, the zoning map again, please, on the screen? So immediately to the west is general commercial, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, those rezonings were done back in the 92.
And 92.
1992.
No, it's actually a tough situation because the adjoining lot is already commercial. Of
And the
course, on
one
the
to the
other
north.
side is residential.
It has been attempted to be rezoned at least 3 times that I recall. And the last 3 times that he would be the third one, it was in 2014, in 2019, and in April of 2021, which was him. It was for commercial and it was denied the 3 times. But it's a new applicant. I have to give him the opportunity to apply and go through the whole process.
Yes. But Mr. Luna, do you tell the applicant the past history of that area?
Yes.
I believe that when we listened to it back in 2019, and I remember that was a very controversial time, and we all decided, those of us that were here on council, that we wanted to keep it the way it was. Everybody grandfathered was grandfathered, but it was going to stay residential, from what I recall. And if that's what the council wants to do, I think that we need to revisit the future land use map, because the future land use map does show that it's actually light industrial. Yeah, so we need to review that and make adjustments as needed.
Also, I did take the time and went to go see the property, and to the north is commercial, to the west is commercial. I did call the city engineer there was a lot of debris on the street. I mean, a lot of trash, furniture, right? I mean, in a lot. And then a lot of people seem to be running maybe mechanics shops in there. So I don't know, I understand the concerns of the citizens, but maybe I think it's a good time to send people to go and make sure that, I mean, if they don't want no commercial, I mean, I would like for nobody to be doing commercial. There's several mechanic shops. I mean, there's people doing work there. So, I mean, maybe we can, I mean, I don't mind us beautifying the area. That's what I mean. I do personally know the applicant, and I know they do a real good job on there, but I understand the wishes of the council, but maybe it's a good time for us to clean up that area.
We actually did a sweep. I personally met with the applicant myself there, and I noticed that we did a sweep. There are actually several cases that are going to court for the same reason, because they're running business out of a residential area. So that is something that has already been looked at.
Any other question by the council? I'll be calling for a vote. Keep in mind that if we're going to reverse the denial part, 4 votes or 5 out of 5 have to come forth. If not, the denial stands. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed, say, correction, I have to stand corrected, I'm sorry. We normally don't have the 4/5 vote on it, but it has to be a hand vote. Am I correct, Mr.? It has to be a hand vote. So, all those in favor, raise your right hand to deny. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes 4-1, but it passes for denial, not for reversal.
Ms. Susie, if you could get with applicant, and maybe Daniel Silva with our economic development can get with the client to maybe possibly find another location for his business.
Sir, if you want to stand up so Mr. Denny Silva can know who you are, sir. This is Mr. Denny Silva. He's our Mission Economic Development Director, so you all can maybe get together and you know, to locate another area if you're interested. Okay, I will call for item number 6. It is a public hearing. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item number 6 is a rezoning for all of lots 1, 2, and 3 of Chaparral Terrace subdivision This is from R1 Single Family Residential to R2 Duplex Fourplex. The applicant is Armando Contreras. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located on the northeast corner of West Griffin Parkway, FM 495, and Crimson Avenue along the east side of Crimson Avenue. Surrounding zones include single-family residential to the north and west, to the east neighborhood commercial, and to the south is public. The existing land uses include residential to the north and south, west, to the east commercial, and to the south there's the school. The site is currently vacant. The future land use map shows this area as low-density residential. The proposed zone does not comply with the city's future land use map nor surrounding land uses. Staff is recommending denial. If the council is inclined to approve this item, a 4/5 vote would be required. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning, please approach the podium at this time. Give your name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes to show for or against the rezoning.
Good afternoon. My name is Vicente Contreras. I am representing the owners Lourdes Contreras and my father Armando Contreras. We are proposing a simple duplex on each lot. We have 3 individual lots here at the entrance of Chaparral Terrace, and we see it as a good location as we are aware of all the schools around, elementary, middle school, as well as high school. There's a laundromat accessible, and as we know, Conway and 485 have HEB, and it's a good location for families. And we look to keep it consistent with the neighborhood. We have seen a couple of modern designs, a couple new homes in the neighborhood. We don't look to keep it too modern to stay consistent with the neighborhood. We are aware it's a little aged neighborhood, but it shouldn't stand out too much, and we're looking to keep it simple.
Good evening, Mayor. And
Yes, ma'am.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the council. You know, I've been a resident in Mission for 30 years, and we bought this lot for about, I believe, 12 years now, 10 to 12 years. Of course, paid taxes and all, but it's an empty lot, and we've seen that the kids that walk to their home, well, it's easy to litter and throw trash and all, and we constantly go and clean and pick up trash, and sometimes we delay a little because we're busy, but we always want to keep up with it. And I think that with this project that we have, my son, I think it will eliminate something like that, where it's not empty, doesn't look, as ugly as an empty lot. Having these duplex in, of course, it'll make it nicer and prettier, and it'll complete the residents there. Not only that, but the families that will be going into these homes, well, they'll have their kids right across the street to O'Grady or K White. So see, that's something that we would like to offer for families to come to Mission. And well, it is empty, and it does, not only that, but as the young lady said here, there's about, to the west, there's about 15 apartment. I'm sorry, to the east. There's an apartment complex, about 15 of them there. Also, there's a laundromat that's a business, and there's also a water mill right next to us. So we're not gonna do something ugly, we're gonna make it pretty. And also, like Vicente said, we're gonna make it something where it kind of matches to what's already there, so it will not look so different, that it'll look, just what's there. We will not make it as the apartment line, the complex that are to the east. We'll make it more like family homes that's there. And of course, that eliminate us from cleaning all the time and, making it nice to the community, making it part of the subdivision that's there. And thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Anything else, ma'am?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bless you. Bless.
Thank you, ma'am. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this rezoning, please approach the podium at this time. I do not see anybody approaching the podium at this time, so I'm gonna go to electronics to see if we have nobody in. Alex, we don't have anybody? Okay, I'm gonna close this public hearing and ask for guidance from the council.
That this area includes, we're not approving apartments in that area, right?
That particular subdivision is all residential. The subdivision she's referring to, it's immediately to the east. And those apartments were approved back in 1992. The rezoning for the apartments they're funding 495. But in her particular subdivision, it's all residential.
And what did the neighborhood say? Did anybody come?
Nobody has showed up, neither to the planning and zoning nor to the council. Nobody has showed up. We haven't received any calls. But based on our future land use map and it shows it as residential.
We denied a fourplex a couple of minutes ago, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that similar to this?
It was in the middle of residence, all residential. I mean, there were other apartments, but on other blocks, not within that area where they were proposing the apartments.
Mayor, I move to uphold the P and Z's recommendation. And deny the request for rezoning. Second.
We have a motion and a second. And this is opening for discussion by any of the council members.
So we're going with their recommendation.
That's our recommendation.
It's just within a subdivision and, you know, the subdivision is R1, it's already at that zone, it's pretty much all built out. So I think that would be the right thing to do. That's my opinion.
Any other discussion by any of the council members? I'm gonna call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
A correction, I stand corrected again. This one also is a 4-5 deal, so I'm gonna have to ask for a hand vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those against, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 for denial. And calling for item number 7, Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item number 7 is a conditional use permit to designate an area as a mobile food park for operations of mobile food units. This is at 719 Ragland. This is a tract of land out of the northwest 9.96 acres out of lot 203, Johnny Sherry subdivision. This is currently zoned commercial, and the applicant is Jorge Eduardo Carriaga. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located 800 feet south of Business Highway 83 along the west side of Ragland Road. In an effort to reactivate the economy of the city, the applicant is proposing a mobile food park to offer food truck owners the opportunity to sell their products. The applicant proposes 21 mobile food units, a 6x4 storage for low-key entertainment, and will utilize the existing building for the restrooms and office. The applicant also proposes to have picnic tables throughout the property in case anyone would like to dine. Access to the site will be via 2 driveways off of Ragland Street. If approved based on the current ordinance, each mobile food unit operator would need to apply for their own CUP to be in the mobile food park. Hours of operation, he's proposing Monday to Sunday from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. For parking, a minimum of 3 parking spaces will be required per unit. Currently, he has 31, so we are recommending approval, but he would need to, instead of 21, we're proposing 10 unless he adds additional parking. It would be approved for 1 year to assess this new operation, compliance with building, fire and sign codes, acquisition of a business license, and he must comply with the noise ordinance. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against the conditional use permit? If you're in the audience at this time, please approach the podium. Yes, sir. Go ahead and approach the podium, sir. Name and address for the record. And you have 2 minutes, sir.
Yes, hi everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Jorge Cariaga. I live in 1604 Lilibet Lane. I'm the owner of the property. The reason that I want to do that is because I believe in the community. I want to develop a good environment for our families. We propose to have different activities, like the family goes there. It not be a restaurant, it not be a nightclub, it not be a noise. So I just want to have a space or different options for the families, for the workers that work near the area, that they can go take or get some food, some drinks. It will be pet friendly. So I went to the Mission, they have waiting list. I went to McAllen, they have waiting list. So we don't have any other options for the food trucks. I have enough space, and as owner, I will be in charge of the management. So don't worry, the neighbors know me. I know the neighbors. It will be a good place for all the winter, all the people, the old guys that live around my zone. And also I want to reactivate the economic. I have some business that they want to come to the city of Mission. They have other business in other cities. So it will be good for growth, the economic for the city. So if you help me, if you support this project, I will be charged to do the best for the city. We will obviously continue with all the process, all the rules of the city. Ms. Luna knows me. She knows that I'm a good person with my family. So we want to continue growing for the best for the city of Mission. So that's it. If you have any questions, just let me know. And thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, sir. This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit? This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit? Anybody from the audience at this time? Please approach the bench or the podium at this time. I do not see anybody approaching the podium at this time, so I'm going to ask for electronics. Is there anybody in electronics for this item? We have nobody from electronics at this item, so I'm going to close this public hearing and ask for the guidance of the council.
I'm going to approve the request present as recommended by planning and zoning staff.
We have a motion on the floor to approve the.
Second, but Ms. Luna, I have a question.
Oh, let me recognize your second first, and then we'll open it for discussion. Okay, go ahead, Ms. Cortez.
Can you kind of give me the location? Because I'm like a little lost. I'm trying to figure it out with a map.
Regular.
Where is it at exactly?
It used to be a daycare. It used to be daycare behind Tapole off of Raglan and Glasscock.
It's by Incredible, behind Incredible on
The bowling alley.
on the east side. I'm sorry, on the
South
west
side.
side.
Used to be
But that
Salamandra.
But that gentleman, what? By Ricardo's or no?
To the west.
So we're gonna have two there now?
No, and the other one is not a park, it's just one unit.
Ah, okay.
In the-
But
in
it's
the
around that area.
Incredible, it's in that area, yes.
Okay, I just was a little lost, sorry.
I have a question as well.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Will there be a need for a conditional use permit for alcoholic beverages? I don't see that.
In the future, if he wants to pursue, he would need to submit a new application only for the alcoholic beverages.
Okay.
But in the ordinance, they already included to wet zone the property in case he decides to, in the future, apply. Currently, this is only to designate the area.
Sir, I recognize you to come to the podium and state your response to Ms. Garza's request.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's the first time that I will have this type of business. I want to be in charge of the alcohol. So Ms. Luna told me that the first step is that you approve. Then I will go with the Department of Alcoholics and get my permission. So don't worry, I will be, it's like I told, it's not a nightclub, it's not a restaurant. It's only that the families go like have 2 or 3 hours. Or also I have in an inside building, I will thinking about like have a like little daycare that for the kids. I will have some different activities for the kids that they can color, they can paint, they can do different activities that the parents, they will be more comfortable speaking or taking some some ideas that they want. So I understand the politics. So the next step, I will try to get the permission with the alcoholic department. So I will do the Ms. Luna and all the staff recommend and follow all that rules. So don't worry about that. I understand that point. So
Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
yeah.
Yes, any other question by the council? No other questions by the council. I'm gonna call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 5103 is approved 5-0. And,
Mayor, if I could just, Randy, I would like to see us have a meeting to discuss how many we're gonna be allowing now, because this is already gonna be 3 in Mission. So are we gonna put a cap, or are people gonna be able to come and apply for this type of service
And
to our
we're probably
community?
gonna need to put
We
it
have
on the
to, we have
future
to start
plan.
making those discussions, because I don't want people to think that now that's, I mean, no, we need to start having some serious discussions about how many is too many. Thank you.
I will be calling for item number 8. This is a public hearing. Mr. Luna, you have the floor.
Item number 8 is a conditional use permit for the selling outside consumption of alcoholic beverages out of a storage container, tacos and beer by Ricardo's Restaurant. This is located at 2224 East Business Highway 83. This is a tract of land containing 1.08 acres of land, being part of a portion of Lot 204 Johnny Sherry subdivision. It's currently zoned C4 heavy commercial, and the applicant is Esperanza Serna. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located on the southwest corner of Glenwood Avenue and East Business Highway 83. On July 26, 2021, the city council approved a request to allow a 10 by 20 storage container pot to utilize as a food truck for beverages only in conjunction with tacos and beer by Ricardo's Restaurant food truck. Ms. Serna wanted to be sure that her conditional use permit for the storage container would be approved in order to proceed with her TABC license. Access to the site is from 224 driveways off of Business 83. Hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. Parking, they have a total of 30 parking spaces. Sale of alcohol, section 1.56-3A of the zoning code requires such uses to be at least 300 feet from the nearest residence, church, school, or publicly owned property. There is a residential subdivision within the 300-foot radius. However, P&Z and City Council have waived that requirement for similar businesses. Staff is recommending, P&Z and staff recommended approval for a period of 2 years, at which time the applicant will need to renew the CUP and TABC license, waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement from residential neighborhoods, and the acquisition of a business license. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing, and anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit or the wet zone? If you're in the audience, please approach the podium at this time. This is a public hearing. I don't see anybody from the audience approaching the podium at this time, so I'm going to ask for electronics. Is there anybody on the electronic? We have nobody in electronic. I'm going to close this public hearing and ask for the guidance from the council.
I'm going to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Did I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. Any last minute? I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 5104 is approved 5-0, and ordinance 5105 is approved 5-0 at the same time. Okay, so I'm calling for item number 9. This is a public hearing. Mr. Luna, you have the floor.
Item number 9 is a conditional use permit to keep a portable building for sales office. This is for Universal Landscaping Supply. This is at 1609 East Expressway 83, being lots 3 to 6 Mission Palms Plaza. It's currently zoned C4 heavy commercial, and the applicant is Eliel Gonzalez. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The site is located 600 feet east of Stewart Road along the north side of East Expressway 83 Frontage Road. The applicant wishes to open a Universal Landscaping Supply and would like to utilize the existing 15 by 15 portable building as an office. The last CUP approved by PNC for this location and use was on July 11, 2016, for a period of 3 years for Florida palm trees. Days and hours of operation are Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. He's proposing 3 employees. The parking for this type of business, a minimum of 4 parking spaces are required. The site has a total of 20 parking spaces. This would be compliant to code. Staff is recommending approval, subject to a 1-year reevaluation to assess the new business, restriping and maintenance of the parking area, installation of skirting for the portable building, compliance with building, fire, and sign codes, and the acquisition of a business license. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit? If you're in the audience, please approach the podium at this time. Name and address for the record, sir, and you have 2 minutes.
My name is Eliel Gonzalez from 2100 West First Street, Mission, Texas. And pretty much I'm here just to see any other requirements that you have for your permission to have this business here in Mission.
So you're in favor of the permit?
I'm sorry?
You're in favor of the permit?
I want to have the permit for this and just anything else that I need in order to comply with your request.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit, please approach the podium at this time. I do not see anybody approaching the podium at this time, so I'm going to ask for electronics. We have nobody from electronics. I'm going to close this public hearing and ask for the guidance from the council. Council, what's your wish?
I move for approval.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second,
We
I got
have-
a question.
We have a second and a question. Open it for discussion. Mr. Plata, you have the floor, sir.
There might be something that we can do probably in the future. I know we give like conditional use permit for portable buildings, but I've seen some that have been years and we still continue renewing. This is on the expressway and I think if we want to help beautify the city, I mean, I think we need to put a limit of how many renewals we can give. I know he's probably going to do a good job because he's in the landscaping business because that place needs to seem to need a lot of good landscaping. But I move to approve because we pretty much do to a lot of the businesses on the expressway. We have a lot of horrible buildings.
The problem, or I guess it's a new applicant each time. So it's not that we prolong the renewals sometimes, it's just that the applicant changes and they acquire another year. We actually talk to the applicant to encourage to construct something, to make something permanent. It doesn't have to be that big, but as we encourage the.
Can you give us a
permanent structure.
report of how many portable buildings we have on the expressway
We can get you that information
and how many renewals we have?
for those particular.
And at the same time, how many are owned by the person asking for the permit? Because a lot of times what happens is that they lease the property.
And actually,
You know,
that's the problem. All of them are renters. They're renting. It's not the actual owner
Yeah.
applying. But I can get you that information.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any other questions by the council? I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 5106 is approved 5-0. Calling for item number 10 on the agenda. Mr. Luna, you have the floor, ma'am.
Item number 10 is a conditional use permit for the Texas Citrus Fiesta Vaquero Cook-Off and Fun Fair on November 20, 2021. This is at 1200 East Business Highway 83. This is a tract of land containing 6.56 acres, more or less, being part or portion of a 6.79 acre tract of lot 2011, West Addition to Sharyland. The property is currently zone C3 general business, and the applicant is Texas Citrus Fiesta. If the council is inclined to approve this item, an adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The subject site is located near the southeast corner of Bryan and Business 83. Texas Citrus Fiesta organizers have been given permission to have their annual Vaquero Cook-Off and Fun Fair on the vacant lot. They are proposing to set up on November 19 and 20 at 12 p.m. for both events, although both events will take place on November 20th from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. with approximately 48 vendors and a stage for entertainment. The VIP tent will be used for food donations. Parking for this event will be provided along the southeast area of the property. The zoning code states that front fair sites should be a minimum of 300 feet away from any residential use property from lot line to lot line. There is a mobile home park immediately to the east of the property. Therefore, a waiver would be needed for this location. With sufficient professional security barricades, lighting, Texas Citrus Fiesta monitoring, this event will again be a very successful and well-attended. Texas Citrus Fiesta has assured the city that all aspects of security will be taken care. PNC and staff recommended approval, subject to installation of a perimeter fence, installation of no parking signs along East Business Highway 83 and Bryan Road, meet the noise, amusement, and entertainment, and insurance and any other related codes, and waiver of the 300-foot separation requirement from residential neighborhoods. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
And this is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit? If you're at the audience, please approach the bench, the podium at this time. I do not see anybody approaching the podium at this time, so I'm gonna ask for electronics. Is there anybody in electronics? And nobody's in electronics. I'm gonna close this public hearing and ask the guidance from the council.
Mayor, move for approval?
We have a
Second.
motion to approve, and I have a second. And this is open up for discussion for any questions.
I have a quick question.
Go ahead, Ms. Garza.
Suzie, so one of the requirements is to fence the perimeter?
Where they're gonna have the event, sometimes they ask it to be fenced.
Okay. Okay, but not the whole?
No, not the whole area.
Oh, okay,
No,
all right.
I didn't hear that. Sometimes what?
The fencing,
they fence, they put some
they
fencing
have to do fencing for protection for the
for
vehicles. where
for
to
the
park.
vehicles.
Because last year or like 3 years ago, they would park at the seed building. Are we gonna allow them to do that this time?
Has,
They
Mr.
actually
Let me
have-
ask Mr. Silva, have they approached to you to use the, as of right now, the answer would be no. Go ahead, Mr. Luna.
They haven't submit, actually, they haven't submit that information. All we know is that they're gonna park at the site.
Okay, well, a lot of people go, so they're gonna
That's-
need,
Mhm.
so you might want to work with them and.
Yes.
So
Mr.
you can
Silva.
follow protocol.
Yes.
Any other questions? No questions? All those in favor say aye.
Mayor, I think Ms. Ida might have something to contribute. Oh, Lisa's on Zoom? Okay.
Okay, I've already called for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, and I'm gonna register it as a 5-0 vote. The ordinance 5107 that has been approved. And Ms. Rivera, I'm sorry, I already called for the vote. I apologize for that, but it's already passed at 5-0 vote, 5107.
Great.
Is
Thank
your
you,
ordinance
Mayor.
number for the record, okay?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, council.
Item number 11, it is a public hearing. Mr. Luna, you have the floor.
Item number 11 is a conditional use permit renewal to keep a portable building for educational purposes. This is for 511 West 11th Street. This is lots 1 and 2, block 178, Mission Original Town Site. The current site is currently zoned single-family residential, and the applicant is Agueda P. Aguinaga. If the council is inclined to approve this item, and adoption of an ordinance will be needed. The site is located 200 feet west of Kika de la Garza Loop along the south side of West 11th Street. The site has a 73 by 20 portable building that is currently being used for educational purposes. Access to the site will be strictly off of 11th Street. A CUP was last approved for this location on September 28, 2020 for a period of 1 year. Ms. Aguinaga is requesting to renew her conditional use permit. The proposed hours of operation are Monday to Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 8 to 12. She has 2 employees that operate the business. Parking, she currently has 4 parking spaces. P&Z and staff recommended approval for 1 year in order to assess the business, comply with building and fire codes and landscaping requirements. This is a public, this item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this conditional use permit renewal? Any of you in the audience, please approach the podium at this time. I do not see anybody approaching the podium at this time, so I'm gonna ask for electronics. Is there anybody in electronics? There is.
Yes, Mayor, we have a Mr. Duran.
Sir, identify yourself, the name and address for the record, and you have 2 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, my name is Sabio Duran. I reside in 1501 Batia Boulevard in Mission. I'm the Operations Director for Technology Training Licenses, which is the nonprofit organization that is going to be operating this educational institution. The purpose of this building and of these facilities is going to be to provide adult education for those individuals who are lacking high school diploma, for them to have the chance to obtain their GED diploma. One of the areas that we're exploring is going to be the instructional part that we're going to be offering to the public, and the other side that we are just waiting to see if we're going to receive the proposal, the approval from Pearson, is going to be for us to be a testing center that is going to be located in the city of Mission, and with that is going to be conveniently located for the residents of this area, for them to have the chance to test and to acquire their GED diploma. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Any other in electronic? Any other in electronics? I'm going to be closing this public hearing and ask for the guidance from the council.
Move to approve.
We have a
Second.
motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this is open up for any discussion. Go ahead, Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
Susie, is this the second time they ask for a reroll?
This is the second time. The reason we are only requesting 1 year, is because we've had a little bit of problems with them maintaining the actual parking.
Oh.
So
Okay.
we want to monitor that and make sure that that's in compliance before we grant him any more time.
Okay. And they've been notified of that issue?
Yes, they
Okay.
actually were trying to resolve that issue.
Okay. That's all for me, Mayor.
Any other questions?
Is that a recent picture?
Yes, that was a recent picture, and actually, he was supposed to do it over the weekend, but he had a little bit of trouble, so he asked for more time to resurface and do the restriping of the parking.
Can we see the picture again? I didn't even see it. Yes, I see it.
Are those real sunflowers? Right?
No.
No,
I don't
they're
think-
wooden, but it's a nice touch.
He had some, but they dried up, so I guess they put that as.
Yeah.
Any other questions? I'm going to call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Ordinance 5108 is approved for item 11, and I'm calling for item number 12. Ms. Aduna, you have the floor.
Item number 12 is a discussion and action to rescind ordinance number 4883 and number 4963 as it relates to open carports, patios, and porches setback requirements. After the joint workshop between the planning and zoning and the council, a direction was given to staff to revert back the setback requirements for open carports and patios and porches. In an effort to comply with this direction given, the only way to accomplish this would be to rescind the ordinance. If you recall, ordinance 4883 would allow open carports to have a front setback of 8 feet on the front and 4 foot on the side for any subdivisions older than 20 years. The ordinance 4963, it's the same setback, but it included patios and porches. So if we rescind this ordinance, it would go back to how reverted back. It would be going back to 40 feet from the front setback for any streets such as Holland, Mayberry, Bryant, and for regular residential street, it would be 18 feet from the front of the property, or depending on the subdivision requirement, if they had a higher setback. The side would remain at 6 feet. So this is the purpose of this ordinance. This is a public hearing. This item is now before you.
This is a public hearing. Any discussion or action on rescinding ordinance 4883 or 4963? Please approach the bench at this, the podium at this time. If you're in the audience, anybody approaching I don't see anybody, so I'll ask for electronics. Electronics, no electronics. I'm going to be closing this public hearing, but I have a question myself. Did you consolidate these two ordinances into one ordinance?
Yes,
Or do I give you two ordinances?
just one
One ordinance.
ordinance number and it'll have both numbers
You
in there.
consolidated them together?
Yes.
Okay. And this I ask for guidance from the council.
I move for approval.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. And this I open it for any discussion. Call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries, or item number 12 is ordinance 5109, and it's approved 5-0. And I'm calling for item number 13.
Item number 13 is a preliminary and final plat approval for Burns Mission subdivision. This is a replat of a 5.57 acre tract of land being all of lots 1 and 2 Gallagher subdivision and part of a 5.39 acre tract out of lot 173 Johnny Sherry subdivision. It's currently zoned C3 general business. The developer is Kyle Richard Burns and the engineer is M. Garcia Engineering. The replat of Burns Mission subdivision is located on the northwest corner of US Expressway 83 and Horner Road. The property will consist of 1 commercial lot. Utilities are already in place. All they're doing is they're making the commercial lot bigger, adding more land to the existing commercial lot. PNC and staff recommended approval subject to complying with all typical format findings. This is a public hearing. This item is not for you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against the preliminary and final plat approval of Burns Mission subdivision? If you're in the audience, please approach the podium at this time. In favor or against this preliminary and final plat approval? I don't see anybody approaching the podium at this time. I'm going to ask for electronics. Is there anybody in electronics? Nobody's in electronics. I'm going to close this public hearing and ask for guidance from the council. We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion. Call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. No ordinance numbers required for preliminary and plat approval.
Thank you.
So we're moving over to consent agenda items. All consent agenda items are considered routine by the city council and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member requests an item to be removed and considered separately. The city council may take various actions, including but not limited to rescheduling an item in its entirety for a future date or time. The city council may elect to go into executive session on any item, whether or not such item is posted as executive session item at any time during the meeting when authorized by the provisions of the Open Meetings Act. Consent agenda item 14, 15, 16, 17, that includes resolution number 1748, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24, that includes resolution number 1749. What is the wishes of the council?
Mayor, there's no other concerns from the council members. I would like to approve the consent agenda item.
Yeah,
with except number 24.
Okay.
I move for approval.
We have you move to the second.
Yes, sorry.
Okay, we have a second, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Consent agenda item 14, 15, 16, 17 with resolution number 1748, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23 are approved 5-0, and we're asking for item number 24. What is your question, Mr.
I'm just confused with the route. Where's it going to start?
So
Say-
it's,
It would be,
Travel 494 Sherry to 495.
yes, sir, if I may, so it's gonna start, at the, on Cherry Road. It's gonna go down 495, then west, to Bryan Road, and then going southbound to Business 83, and then west on Business 83 to Conway, then northbound on Conway to 2 Mile Line, and then on east on Sherry Road, and then south, east to Sherry, and then going back south to Sherry Road, to the Mission Event Center. It's a 22 mile.
How many?
Yes, sir. This is, we've had this event for a couple years, partnering with Chick-fil-A. It is a huge marathon that we get a lot of participants, and so that's.
No wonder I don't go.
A half marathon is not 22.
So marathons are,
It says half marathon.
Yeah.
What's a,
Yeah.
what's a?
13.
It's 13 miles. Not that
I will not be attending that, but good luck.
I may be giving a welcome or something, but not. No, so
Mayor, I move to approve.
we have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second,
We have a second, and this is open for final questions. All those in favor say aye.
aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 24 also has a 5-0 vote, and it approves resolution number 1749 for the record. And I'm going to move to approvals and authorization, and I'm going to get item number 25. And we have Ms. Carrillo, you have the floor, ma'am.
Mayor, Council, good evening. This is consideration to close city admission offices on Wednesday, November 24th, due to the Thanksgiving holiday, and also Friday, December 31st, 2021, due to New Year's. Currently, we have half a day off, so we're just requesting consideration from the council to have a full day on Wednesday and a full day on New Year's Eve.
Mayor, I move for approval.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second, any discussion?
Are we open on the 26th Friday?
No, sir.
Friday is over, but it's already in the calendar.
So we'll be Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday,
Yes, sir.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yes, we're gonna
Well
be
deserved.
thankful for our
Enjoy your
employees.
families.
We're gonna be very thankful for our employees because they've had a rough COVID-19.
It's just a question.
Yes.
Y'all have to preach to me, just a question.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item number 25 is approved 5-0, Ms. Carrillo, and I'm calling for item number 26.
Yes.
And before you give the, go ahead.
Yes, sir. This is the approval of the resolution. The city of Mission has 130 authorized votes for the election of the Appraisal District Board of Directors for 2022-23. The city council had nominated Mr. Amador Riquenes last month. So now we're just requesting the distribution of the 130 votes.
I will entertain Mr. Beto Vela. Mr. Vela, you have the
I
floor,
have
sir.
a recommendation of 100 for Amador Requenes and 30 for Eddie Betancourt.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this is open for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 with item number 26 with the recommendation as Mr. Vela has done, and the motion of 100 and the 30 for the other end.
For Eddie Betancourt, 30, and Amador Riquenes, 100.
Yes.
Yes, Mayor, I will send in the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carrillo. And that'll be resolution number 1750 for the record, for the public to know. Approval of resolution number 1750. Item number 27, Chief Sanchez, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item number 27, the Mission Fire Department is seeking authorization to purchase 2 10 horsepower 4-stage breathing air compressors and fill station with equipment accessories from Metro Fire Apparatus Specialists, Inc. The breathing air compressor system shall be outfitted 2 stations, station number 3 and station number 4. Purchase cost in an amount of $70,562 via HGAC contract number EE 08-19. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move for approval.
So a motion and a second to approve item number 27, and this I open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 27 is approved 5-0, Chief.
Thank you.
And we're calling for item number 28. Mr. Mendiola, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council. Authorization to purchase 9 automized refuse trucks via buy board number 60119 for the sanitation department. The nine automized refuse trucks from Santex Truck Center, DBA Koresh Truck Center via buy board contract 60119 at a cost of $351,554 per unit, plus a buy board fee of $400. Total purchase totaling $3,164,566 for the 9 units. The acquisition of these units will be enabled to our department to improve our daily operations. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and this I open it for discussion.
I have a question. Are these units going to be added or are they replacement units?
They're going to be replacement units, ma'am. But
All 9 of them?
all 9 of them, but the older units that we have, we're gonna still utilize them. And whatever we can salvage off of them, we're still gonna use them. As the department grows, we're gonna use these units to grow more routes for our employees.
So do you know how many you're keeping?
We're keeping currently about four units from the old.
4 of the old
Yes.
ones?
So we're gonna wind up with 13.
Yes.
on the
So
road.
currently, right now, we have 8 routes that we're established. We're looking to establish maybe another 3 more routes
Okay.
for the next year.
This
Very
question, my question is for Mr. Perez. Is the 3.1 million on the budget?
Yes, sir. It was budgeted for this department for this, to plan to replace these units. Yes, sir.
Mayor, I
Thank
have a question for Mr. Mendiola.
Go ahead.
Hi, sir.
Hi, ma'am, how you doing?
How long did the ones that are getting replaced last?
Currently, I believe they were 2015s,
Okay.
so about 6 years. The normal duration of a unit shall last between 7 to 8 years before we start putting major components into it. And when I say major, I mean motors, transmissions, so forth like that. But with the acquisition of a new mechanic that we have this year, we're hoping to last a little bit longer than that. Now, as the city grows, we are going to grow our routes. Each route should be anywhere between 900 to 1,000.
I would recommend that you probably start looking at the leasing model that we use with the police units and the fire units, you know, a 3-year cycle.
Mhm.
You know, split the 13 into 1 year, second year and third year and do a 3-year model
Yes, sir.
of leasing. With 3 million, you can put it in the budget. You'll probably get more than 9 units in the leasing program.
Yes.
You know, something to research.
Yeah, we're going to look into that. That's not a
Mayor, I
problem.
have a second question.
Go ahead.
So right now we have how many units for the routes?
We have 8. We have 9 total, but we have 8 units that are.
Okay,
running
and so now we're
constantly.
going to go up to
13.
13.
13, yes.
Okay, now for the 4 that you say, I think you said 4, right? That
Yes.
you no longer going to, we cannot make one out of those 4?
That's what we're going to,
And
hopefully we can
it be
do.
like a roving one?
Yes.
Because I do know that there's a lot of, I mean, let's face it, everybody that calls, their issue is very important to them.
Yes,
So what I would like to see, and I know you're doing a great job through Randy's direction on making sure this is possible, but sometimes people call, either they have a, whatever, I mean, they cut
Yes.
the trees, they're there. Maybe having a rover to go to all
Yes.
those different calls.
as we move forward, that's the goal that we have.
Okay, thank you.
I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 28 is approved 5-0. And I have calling for item number 29. Mr. Mendiola, you have the floor.
Authorization to purchase 1 Peterbilt 337 grapple truck from Rush Truck Center via buy board 60119. Authorization to purchase one Peterbilt 337 grapple truck. The total cost of a unit will be $179,181. The purchase of this additional unit will add the department in improving the best service possible to our citizens as well as to improve our daily operations. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move to approve.
We have a motion on the floor. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second in this, open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 29 is approved 5-0 and calling for item number 30.
Thank you.
Chief Alvarez, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Item 30, authorization to award bid for portable restroom shower trailers. The City of Mission accepted and opened 4 bid responses for portable restroom shower trailers for emergency use during and post disasters. Recommendation is to award to Ready to Go Restroom Trailer Sales LLC, who is the lowest responsible bidder meeting all specifications. The portable equipment will be used as a secondary hygiene station at our shelter location when services are not available. This will help combat COVID-19 related efforts and CDC requirements. The purchase will be through round 3 of the CARES Act Community Development Block Grant to prevent, prepare for, and respond to the coronavirus pandemic. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move for approval.
We have a motion and a second to approve item number 30. Is open for discussion.
What is the dollar amount?
$69,544.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any other question? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 30 is approved 5-0 and calling for item number 31. Chief Alvarez, you have the floor.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Authorization to award bid for portable trailer mounted generator. The City of Mission accepted and opened 2 bid responses for a portable trailer mounted generator for emergency use during and post disasters. Recommendation is to award to Romco Equipment, the lowest responsible bidder, meeting all specifications. The amount was $50,944. The generator will serve as backup power source for several city buildings, which will be retrofitted with a transfer plug for use. This will help combat COVID-19 related efforts and CDC requirements. The purchase will be through round 3 of the CARES Act CDBG block grant program, coronavirus, to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus pandemic. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move to approve.
We have a
Second.
motion on the floor and a second to approve item number 31. Is there any other discussion?
Are these
Go ahead.
diesel? The generator, are they diesel?
Diesel, yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, just
Dollar
wondering.
amount.
50, I'm sorry, that one was $50,994.
I move for approval. I mean, sorry,
We already have a motion.
I vote yes.
I second her yes.
Let me call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 for item number 31. Item number 32, Chief, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Authorization to reject and resolicit bids for video message board. Due to the lowest responsible bidder being over budget, staff is asking for authorization to reject and resolicit bids for message board to be used during emergencies, events, and post disasters. The specifications for the message board will be amended, reducing the size and possibly video capabilities of the message board. This will help combat COVID-19 related efforts and CDC requirements. The purchase will be through round 3 of the CARES Act, CDBG, coronavirus 19 to prevent, prepare for, and respond to coronavirus pandemic. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
I move
Chief,
to approve.
hold on, before I take a motion.
Yes, sir.
Chief, what was the difference in overbid?
It was $40,935. Yes, the estimated cost was when we went up to start to solicit was up to 75,000. So that was the highest. It was 40,000. We're trying to resolicit for a smaller size, same technology, smaller size boards.
Okay. Mr. Plata, you have the floor.
I move to approve the authorization to reject and resolicit bids for video message board.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and this open it for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item number 32 is approved 5-0 as rejecting the bid and going up for resoliciting bids.
Thank you very much.
Item number 33, Mr. Pettis, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Item 33 is discussion and possible action on modifying COVID-19 City of Mission guidelines. This is the opportunity for the council to make modifications on our existing guidelines. I do want to make a couple announcements regarding this. We did receive the card already for the incentive program. We have communicated with the county to coordinate our first vaccination to offer incentives on the 17th of this month. We are coordinating 3 vaccine clinics this month of November, the 17th, the 22nd, and the 29th. Those are what we're estimating. Now, we are planning
And the locations of the clinics are going to be.
at the Mission Event Center. Yes, sir. One of the, we're asking the businesses to start applying for the program. We have had some response already that are registered for the program. One of the things that I have communicated with staff is to possibly schedule a business meeting next week on Monday to invite all the businesses to actually do an in-person presentation. We're looking at possibly Monday of next week, so we can send out that information. We are planning to also publish it on this week's paper to be able to have businesses sign up for this. The response has been a wide variety of businesses, which is great. It's not only restaurants, but businesses, pet businesses, all types of businesses which are already participating, which is great. So we will be partnering with them. And then also we've been partnering up with the chamber as well and the EDC, so we can promote the program and then start the incentive. One of the changes that I would like to bring up to the mayor and the council is the addition of the children to be eligible for this. If we're aware that now 5-year-olds from 11 is a new age group that was recently approved. And so currently the county has sent some numbers that will include that population. And so so they will be allocating for Moderna, which is the 18 and up, Pfizer, which is the 12 and up, and then the Pfizer pediatric 5 to 11. So we do have that allocation. And so we're bringing that to the council to make that an eligible for this incentive program as well, for us to consider that age group. Now, we will be trying to get new vaccinations for this first vaccination clinic. So anyone that has not received a vaccine, or also that we will be offering boosters for those approved age groups or the underlying conditions. And so we will be accepting that as part of the incentive as well. So that will be promoted, that will be advertised for that Wednesday, the 17th. We did set a deadline of the 16th for businesses to register. However, we will be accepting registrations for businesses as we continue this program, because we definitely don't want, we want more participation from our city businesses. And that's what I have right now, sir.
Any changes on any of the other protocols?
No, sir. Currently, we're still, as far as staff and city offices, we're still highly encouraging our masks. Thank goodness that we don't have any employees out due to COVID, which is great. And so we are still sanitizing our buildings, sanitizing our stations. And so we're continuing that process as well.
How about the public, the restriction on the public entrances?
Yes, sir. We're still strongly encouraging masks in our buildings. And so I do have numbers.
But we're not limiting the entrances.
No, sir.
And is our water utility office already fully open?
Yes, sir. Yes, we are open, and we do monitor, based on any type of exposures or positive within our employees. Then at that point, we would monitor the limitation of the entrances. And currently, the city of Mission COVID cases in total, the last couple of days have been, these are reports, of course, from the county, of course, just by the zip code. And we're looking at an average about five a day in our city as a whole. That's what I have on this.
Death or?
No, sir, that's positive cases.
Positive
Yes, sir. Yeah, death, we just have the total number from the county. And so we do have about 8 from the county this past week.
Well, thank you for the information, and and appreciate the information sharing with the public,
Yes, sir.
you know. Do I hear a motion to approve his recommendations?
To approve.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second,
Second, and Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
yes, what is the requirement for the business to qualify to participate?
Yes, so Michael, you have, I know the requirements of W-9 from the business, but I'll let Michael, you're on, Michael, to explain the requirements. I don't want to miss something. Is he on?
All right, Michael, are you on?
It's within the city limits of Measure.
Yes, sir.
And then the W-9, I think that's the only requirement that I have.
Business license and the.
Can you say that again? A business license?
Yes, a business
or
license, a W-9 from the business and a business
Recycling.
within the city limits of Mission.
Okay. Do they need to have a sales
Miguel,
tax
Mike-
permit or anything
Michael, are you
like that?
on?
Is he on?
Randy, so how many businesses have already applied?
So far, as of today, we only have seven
Okay.
businesses.
And we put it out on social media?
Yeah,
and
so
are
we're
we going
gonna
out to
be-
Businesses or not yet?
The women?
Have you gone to businesses yet or not yet?
Yes, Michael's been knocking on
Okay.
doors in the downtown area. He was there actually this afternoon as well, educating them. Some of them were not aware, and so that's why we want to bring awareness through a public meeting for businesses to come in. And so we want to advertise that to come in, any questions, and so we can get clarification, and at the same time, get them to sign up there and then. So that is the, so we can get more participation. Yeah, so it's just basically the business information as we mentioned in the
What is
W-9.
Total amount that we are awarding cards.
Yes, sir. The first vaccine is $100. And also and the second one would be $50. And that includes
And the booster?
that includes the booster, yes, sir.
$50.
Yes, so the booster would be included if you're falling under the underlying conditions. That's what's been approved so far. And later on, once it's approved for the general population, we'll go in and have that included. But it is, we want to look at unvaccinated individuals.
Michael's on, Mayor.
Michael, are you on? You have the floor, sir.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I apologize, I was having technical difficulties. So to talk about the Thrive program on the business side, to the requirements on this program is the business must be locally owned business within our city limits, and they could submit a copy of their W-9 and proof of city issued business license over to our designated email, which is thrive@missiontexas.us. There they'll be verified, pre-screened by myself and other staff, and then they'll be brought on board to the Thrive program and provided other instructions on how to redeem these gift cards.
Is there maybe a promotional flyer that's available that can be emailed to even us and maybe
Yes.
we can send it out to?
Yes,
businesses that we're-
we can
that we
send
know?
it. Yes, we can send it after the meeting today. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, at least a one page.
Yes,
So we can at least create awareness.
yes.
But we are awarding 1 million or 1.5.
No, it was one, sir, one.
We put the 500 together.
Yes, and we are coordinating with the county, and they are setting the number of vaccines available. And so we will provide the location and the dates, and they'll send us, the vaccines, what they have available at the time.
Well, good luck with that. We need to get as many vaccinated in Mission as possible. And in fact, I will ask the public to please get yourself vaccinated. I think it's a safety for not only for our public safety, but also for your own family and your own protection.
Yes.
And can you add a blank W-9 form with that? form?
Sure.
Just to facilitate
Yes.
the process.
Any other questions?
No.
I'll call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0
Thank you.
for your items that you discussed, Mr. Perez. Call for item number 34. Mr. Terraz, you have the floor.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. I come before you to present item 34, approval of change order number 3 related to the South Conway Lift Station sanitary sewer and water line improvements project. Staff is seeking authorization for change order number 3 in the amount of $70,000 for dewatering the area where the lift station is going to be placed. The contractor encountered water seepage underneath the drainage canal and utility conflicts. However, they will need to place a cover dam on both sides of the canal to reduce the flow of water seepage and install metal plates and additional wall points to be able to install the lift station. The Mission Redevelopment Authority Church Number 1 Board of Directors approved change order number 3 at their board meeting on September 28, 2021, and will reimburse the city. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
Move for approval, Mayor.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second? We have a second, and it's open up for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 34 is approved 5-0, and calling for item number 35. Mr. Terraz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 35, discussion and possible action of invoice from Morwell for South Conway Lift Station sanitary sewer and water line improvements project. Invoices in the amount of $202,037.28 for material increase due to shortage and high demand. The contractor incurred higher prices for PVC pipe due to vendors declare force majeure. However, some of the factors that caused the materials to increase in price were the pandemic, Winter Storm Uri in 2021 freeze, and Hurricane Ida. The Mission Redevelopment Authority Church Board Directors will reimburse the city. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
Mayor, on this one, Mayor, there's just one tiny issue, which if I could announce to the council, we can go to executive session, but the contract clearly states that any materials increase will be borne by the contractor. So just so that the council know that you have no obligation to entertain this invoice, but you certainly can.
What's the wishes of the council? We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second, but I have a question.
We have a second, and I'll open it for discussion. Go ahead.
Were there invoices submitted along with the change order to show that there truly was an increase in price?
Yes, ma'am. So at the beginning, the contractors sent out their invoices when they bid the project back in 2020. And also they submitted the invoices for the order of the material for increase in price.
Okay. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, any other discussion? Call for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 35 is approved 5-0, and item number 36, Mr. Terraz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Item 36, approval of work authorization number 17 with Meldon and Hunt for the Benson Palm Development Improvements. Work authorization number 17 entails professional service for the plans and specifications for Benson Palm Development Phase 3 sanitary sewer improvements in the vicinity of the southwest quadrant of 1 mile south and Inspiration in the amount of $115,030. The Mission Redevelopment Authority Church Number 1 Board of Directors will reimburse the city. Staff and city manager recommends approval.
We have a
Second.
motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and it's open for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item number 36 is approved 5-0, and calling for item number 37. Mr. Rivera, you have the floor.
Evening, Council, Mayor, Mr. City Manager. Item 37, authorization to award bid for sodium chloride chemical for the Public Works Department North and South Water Treatment Plants. City of Mission accepted and opened 5 bid responses for sodium chloride chemical. Staff recommendation is to award bid to International Dioxide, who is the lowest responsible bidder, meeting all specifications. Recommendation is based solely on estimated quantities, and orders will be placed on an as-needed basis for a 1-year base term at a cost of 0.682 cents per pound. Additionally, the vendor agrees to transfer ownership of 2 bulk storage tanks to the city upon approval of the contract. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move for approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item number 37, and this is open for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 37 is approved 5-0, and calling for item number 38. Ms. De Luna, you have the floor.
Item number 38 is the authorization to award bid for weedy lot abatement. The City of Mission has accepted and opened 5 bid responses for weedy lot abatement. Staff recommend to award multiple bids to the following 4: South Texas Landscape, OCL Enterprises LLC, TDL Properties LLC, and Condes Landscaping, since they were the 4 lowest responsible bidders meeting all specifications. Services will include all supervision, labor, material, supplies, tools, and equipment necessary for the cleaning and clearing, loading and disposal of all trash, debris, rubbish, organic debris, municipal solid waste, special waste, and tires. The contract will mow all grasses, weeds, underbrush. The contract would be for 1 year base term with 2 one-year renewal options. Staff and city manager recommended approval.
Move to approve, Mayor.
We have a motion to approve. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second, and it is open up for discussion, and I just have one question myself, and that is, I'm sure you're probably going to go with a 1, 2, 3, 4 rotation. And then
We're
come
gonna,
back-
we're gonna
Come back
rotate
to
them
1, 2, 3, 4, and
as needed.
as needed.
Mhm.
Okay.
And,
Any other
and Mayor,
questions?
I just have one
Go
more
ahead.
comment. After you do the rotation, there may be some that just don't meet up to the standards that we have here at the city. And so maybe we can talk to them or just not do business with them.
I would think that they
Okay.
would need to, once they determine that they're not a responsible bidder, or responsible services, that just to bring it back to us and.
Yeah.
And we'll bring it down from 4 to 3, 3 to 2, 2 to 1.
Okay.
As needed. So, but it'll be based on performance and not necessarily, since they're all 4 bid at the same price.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 38 is approved 5-0. And calling for item number 41. And Mr. Ramirez, you have the floor, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Item number 41, authorization to purchase computers via DIR contract, Texas DIR TSO 3763. Authorization to purchase a total of 26 computers. The computers would be used to replace current end-of-life computers not supporting Windows 10 upgrade. The upgrade is needed due to current operating system being end of life, which poses a security risk, and it's a requirement for input upgrade. The total cost of computers is $27,699.10. Staff and city manager recommend approval.
Move for approval, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second, and this I open up for discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Unfinished business, item number 42, and we're gonna keep it as well because we haven't had the workshop.
Yes, sir. No action on the next.
42, 43, and 44, no action.
That's correct.
And Mr. Perez, you have the floor. You have the city manager's comments.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to invite the mayor and the council. Tomorrow we'll be having a veterans luncheon for our veterans employees at the Mission Event Center from 11 to 2. Item 11 to 2. We'll be honoring our veterans, and so
Here at City Hall.
at the Mission Event Center from 11 to 2. We do have also just want to announce that on Thursday, we will have the honor lane for our community veterans. We will be distributing a lunch plate and honoring them through an honor lane through the Mission Event Center as well. Also, we will be that day, we will be city offices will be closed. We will have due to Veterans Day, we will have staff on standby in case we do have emergencies that do occur. And I believe that's it, sir.
Thank you. And again, I want to echo the congratulations to all the city employee veterans that we're honoring tomorrow and all the city veterans that we're honoring on Thursday in the honors lane, as far as that is concerned. And thank you for your services. You've given your time already, so it's time to honor you back. And without further ado, I'm going to call the city council comments. I don't have no further comments. Ms. Ortega, you have the floor now.
Mayor, I'd just like to thank the Veterans Board that you created, and I think some sponsorships throughout the city and the City of Mission staff that helped put up flags around Mission. I do know that because it rained and the flags were falling, I believe some of them were removed, but it was very beautiful to see. I got many phone calls. So thanks for that wonderful idea, and I hope it continues.
Well, need to give credit to Mrs. Petra Ramirez, who came up with the idea, where credit is due, and if Ms. Petra Ramirez is on board, thank you for that idea of doing that. And from there, it went to the subcommittee, and then the subcommittee went to the full committee, and the full committee took charge and put out those flags. And also thank anybody that did a donation, because they weren't free, actually the one nonprofit, and I don't know the name of the nonprofit, that did not have the appropriate credit, where credit is due, and they picked up donations and paid for that at no cost to the city, just to let everybody know. The question was, how much did it cost for us to put all the flags out there? It's no cost to the city. It was citizens of Mission and citizens that respect the American flag that gave a donation and moving forward that.
Very nice, Mayor. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Plata, you have the floor.
Yeah, the same thing here. I got a lot of people that call me and got a lot of compliments, and thanks to all of our veterans, a lot of those flags were put up by some of them. So thank you, man. God bless you, and we appreciate you very much. Also wanna wish a happy Thanksgiving to all of the city employees. I'll be out all of the week, not just, so enjoy it.
Thank you. Yes, sir. No, just to, David was going to announce, regarding the flags, they were damaged, but we are going to put them up this week in honor of veterans. But we did get some that were damaged, and then of course we were drying them out because of the rain and the cold front, and so we'll be placing them this week.
Yes. Go ahead and.
Yes, so Thursday morning, early morning, they're going to go ahead and put them up again, and then that evening they'll take them back down. So,
Okay.
yes.
Good. Again, they look wonderful. It's
Thank you.
it gives us a small town feeling where we honor our veterans. A lot of times in America, you drive into a small town and they all have all the American flags up, and it's a difference. And I'm glad that people are taking charge to honor our veterans. And again, thanks to the Veterans Committee who that's out there, that's been working very diligently with us in advising us and doing operational. And Ms. Garza, you have the floor.
Mayor, I'd just like to echo y'all's comments. Very well said. Thank you to all our veterans, and happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Mr. Vela?
No comment.
No comments. Okay.
Sir, I'm sorry.
I will call the city manager's comments again.
Yes, sir. And I did pass out a calendar for the council to review. We do have upcoming events. I do want to mention, just because it'll be next week, we do have, in partnership with the Crime Stoppers and Mission Police Department, next Wednesday on the 17th, we do have a turkey drive giveaway in our Parks and Rec. Those will be distributing Thanksgiving meals with the turkey and the fixings for that, as we have for several families. On the 19th and the 20th, I do want to also announce that on the 19th, we'll have the Christmas lighting at the Leo Peña Placita Park. And this year, again, will be a two-day event. The ceremony will be the 19th at 6 p.m. at the Leo Peña Placita Park. That's what I have, sir.
We changed it from December, right?
Yes,
Any reason why?
because of we are trying to coordinate with the surrounding areas, and everyone has it right at the same time. And so we were trying to get a different date so we can have turnout with vendors and also participation.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, just in reference to the lighting, is there any way that we can have the rail move those cars that are in front, or just south, or no, north of La Placita? Because when you're driving on Old Business 83, it kind of blocks the view. I don't know if that's even a possibility, but.
Yes, we can reach out to them and see if they can cooperate to help us with that.
Okay,
Mayor, I just got one question.
We're calling back Mr. City Council, Mr. Plata, you have,
We having on the 12, the lead to lead leadership, are a lot of our directors attending?
Yes, sir, we do have, you have the number, Ida?
Yes, Mayor and Council, the meeting is on Friday the 12th. We are co-sponsoring that particular event, so we have pretty much an open seating for all of our employees, and right now we've got about 40 employees registered. So it is part of our leadership continuing training for our directors, and then we also include the invitation to our employees as well.
without any other comments by any other council members, I'm gonna entertain a motion to go into executive session pursuant to VTCA Government Code Section 551.001. Do I hear a motion?
Also move.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're in executive session at a 5-0 vote. motion to reconvene. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We are reconvening 44A, Mr. Martinez,
Mayor, that was an update. It does not require an action.
44B.
44B, there was discussion deliberation on policy related to employees' use of city vehicles and non-employee access to city vehicles. We do have a personal policy on that, which the directive is for the city manager to enforce more vigorously. And then there's some other discussion and directives given to him, which of course,
Do we need a motion to reinforce the enforcement?
yes, motion to reinforce a motion.
Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second and this final discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 vote. And
I'm going to adjourn.
we have a motion to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0 vote for adjournment.